Hi everybody, Ken Dodd here. Well, if you're a younger viewer, maybe you better ask somebody really old to tell you who Ken Dodd was. I've put on my scary face, or should I say my angry face, because over the past few days it looks like everybody, every man and dog has had their say on Rangers, on our manager, ranting and raving about how bad we are, how the manager has to go. And obviously, all this is fueled by the anti-Rangers newspapers, all these so-called football experts who write about the game, and they're just fueling the fire, trying to get rid of the manager and make Rangers go into a deeper crisis. Pulling out old former players to tell us how bad we are and how we need to do this and that. Your Barry Fergusons of the world and Craig Moores, people that have known nothing about what's going on behind the scenes or even on the field. I doubt if they see very many games live, if any. So I'm here to give my own personal rant about the situation. But since this mask is getting a bit warm, I think I'll take it off. And rather than show an angry face, I'll try to be maybe a bit more measured in my criticism of what's been happening this season, especially. I'll keep my hat on though, it hides the bald head. So, what can we say? Let's start with the manager. I always supported him. I thought when he came in, he had a bearing about him. He had a presence that augured well. He sounded as if he knew what he was doing. He seemed to know what was wrong under Beale, and he would correct it. And unfortunately, that hasn't happened. We're much the same as we were under Beale, even if we have the odd better player here and there. He's got his own director of recruitment, Niels Coppin, and we're still waiting to say, oh, what a guy he is, look how he discovered this gem. Maybe it'll happen in due course, but it hasn't happened so far. So he's got him, he's got the director of fitness, or performance as they call it, and we don't look any fitter, any faster, any more energetic, any more determined than we were before. And all that was a negative previously, because practically every team we played against, your St Mirrens and Ross Counties, they looked just as fit, if not fitter than us, and certainly stronger physically and mentally. So the manager's promises about how all that would change, and even things like too many injuries, that can't just be bad luck. It must be something to do with the pre-season training and then the training regime during the season. He'll fix all that. Well, he hasn't. We've still got the same number of injuries, guys out for 2 or 3 months at a time, if not longer, guys who've hardly played a game. So he hasn't improved in that situation. So no wonder people are calling for his head. I'm not yet quite there, and even if I was, forget it. There's no way he's getting the sack. As the financial figures showed us the other day, we're in a terrible state financially. We've hardly any money to spend. We're minus 17 million down from last year. So if we sacked him and his staff, that's going to cost us millions, which we just don't have. Never mind all the upheaval and having to find a new guy to come in, etc. So I think we're stuck with him for the rest of the season, if not beyond. We can only hope that things are turned around, or at least we see promising signs in the next 4 or 5 months, although I'm not holding my breath on that. So forget the manager going, forget the board going. The board actually are the guys who own the club. They've put millions into getting their shares. They're not going to walk away. If somebody wants to come in and buy them out, they might be tempted, but unless that happens, they are going nowhere. So forget about the board and all this nonsense about we need a CEO immediately and all this kind of stuff. What we need is the manager to transform this team, and to do that, he has to change his formation. He shouldn't be so stubborn and stick to the same thing, and change his players and places, and then we'll probably immediately see some improvement, because to keep playing the same formation with more or less the same players every game only results in disappointment, failure, the same thing every time. So that's just madness to keep doing that. So I don't care how stubborn you might be as a manager, he must realise that the fans are deserting him and his philosophy, if you can even call it that. So if he wants to keep his job after the end of the season, he's got to change things. Otherwise, all these results will just keep happening where other teams, even your St Mirrens and Kilmarnocks of the world, can give you a game or beat you at home and not look as if they're too worried about facing up to you. That's got to stop immediately. If you look at his formation, this 4-2-3-1 might work if you've got all the players that you need to carry it out. We don't. So forget that. 4 at the back, 3 in midfield, 3 up front. That's what Celtic do. They don't need big, strong players. They don't need extra protection at the back. They just go 4-3-3. Any decent team should be able to do that. We should be playing in the harder games, like the Pittodrie game or a Celtic game. Our 3 in the middle should be Sterling, Raskin and Barron. And then you go with what you've got, or what you consider the best option up front, the 3 up front. You don't need 2 wingers, you could have 1 winger. So right now, Cherny, Bayrami, their certs, get rid of Drossers, try Igaman, give him a run of games just to see what he can do, get into the swing of things. He's not going to do that playing 45 minutes in the first half when everybody else around him is pretty dire. So give him a run of games to let us show what he can do and see if he is the way forward, because he is young. We were hoping to get him, play him, make money on him in a season or two, a few million quid on him. He only cost us about $1 million odds. So guys like that should be getting a start now. First 2 things the manager has to do, apart from changing the formation, is get rid of Tavernier. That guy's costing us. He's never been a captain. Everybody knows that. Nobody disagrees with that. So he's no good going up front now. He never did have the legs to get up and back. He was always plodding back when he lost the ball years ago. Now, forget it. So get rid of him. It's not like we don't have options. You could put Casemiro in there or Sterling. There's 2 options right away. Younger, more energetic, quicker, harder in the tackle, able to get forward. So they should be, one of these 2 should be the right back. Get rid of Drossers, as I said earlier there, and try Igaman or even Zach Lovelace. And as soon as possible, Danilo has to get in there. He's been out for over 2 months. Come on, what is the matter with this guy? So preferably Danilo or Igaman, maybe half and half in every game to both of them get up to speed. So there's 2 improvements right away. At the back, we don't want Robin Improper or Robin Pooper, as we should start calling him, because he is a disaster, a weakling, another dud central defender, no better than Ben Davies. In fact, Ben Davies is probably better than him. So much for being a leader and a tough guy and great in the air. All these things that he hasn't shown us yet, and here we are into November. So forget him. Balogun, or how about trying Clinton Inciala, you know, the young guy we got from AC Milan. Why would the guy swap AC Milan B team or squad for our squad? He must have thought surely he was going to get the odd game, if not every game, once he was up to speed here, and he hasn't played a minute. So can he be any worse than Proper? No, I don't think so. Give him a go. Young guy, he'll be strong, energetic, tough. Let's see what he can do as well. Keep Shefty at left back and Suter in there. He's got the experience. He knows what it's like. We've got Butland at the back. That could be a good enough defence. We've got enough midfielders to swap when we have to in various games. Up front's the worry. Okay, right now we've got Cherny out, Matondo out, Cortez out. There's 3 wingers. Danilo out. There's a striker, so that's not good. I suppose you might say the manager can't do much about that, but who cares? Once they're back, let's see them in action. Let's swap them around. Let's give them half an hour here and there to worry teams. Even if they only do 5 minutes of decent play, it might be enough to win the game until we can get reinforcements in January, if we can afford any reinforcements. That's looking dubious. But I would just say to fellow Rangers fans, don't go crazy. Don't go into despair. Don't let the newspapers and the Celtic hacks lull you into this anti-Rangers, everything's terrible crisis thing. We're even hearing them talk about Motherwell beating us on Sunday in the semi-final. No way. Rangers will beat Motherwell in the semi-final on Sunday. Nothing surer. The fact that we're hearing Motherwell players fancy their chances, that they can take us on and beat us, well and good, because they're in for a shock when we play on Sunday at Hampden with the whole Rangers crowd behind them, and a lot to prove. So let's start on Sunday, guys.